Hi, and welcome to Don't Just Cook with your host, Robert Steven Munoz. I have a new and exciting series just for you. If you know me, you know that I love coffee. I am very passionate about coffee. Well, you know what? What can I say? It's in my roots, and in those deep roots is Cafe Cubano. So we are gonna start this coffee series talking about the history, the heritage, and the rich flavor and bold energy of Cafe Cubano. In 1748, Don Jose Galibert brought the first coffee trees to Cuba and started plantations right outside of Havana. And until the revolution in Havana, Cuba was the largest exporter of coffee and coffee beans. Those coffee beans grow with such rich flavor and beautiful fragrance and amazing notes. You know, there's the Robusta bean, there is the Arabica beans. The Robusta beans are the ones that are really rich and bold and give you that caffeine punch. The Arabica beans are a little sweeter, a little fruitier, and they give the coffee beautiful, beautiful flavor. The combination of the two and the way that they're roasted is what makes the Cafe Cubano so unique, so rich in heritage. There's different ways that you can make your Cuban coffee, whether you have a mocha pot or you have this little guy. It's kind of funny looking, I know, but it is a strainer for your Cuban coffee, or you can use an espresso machine. Either way, if you're using a beautiful Cuban roast, and there's so many different Cuban roasts on the market that you could try and get that perfect flavor that you crave and that you desire, either way, you are gonna end up with a delicious, wonderful taste of coffee. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the world of coffee. So what makes Cuban coffee so unique? Besides the perfect climate that these coffee beans are growing in, it's the way it's processed, it's the way it's roasted, and it's the way it's brewed. So you have French espresso, you have Italian espresso, and you have Cuban espresso. Where do the differences lie? All three categories are considered to be a dark roast. We use in Cuban coffee, majority is used with the Arabica bean or a combination of the Robusta bean. Depending on the blend, like you can see here, I have this is 100% Arabica. So that is gonna give us a beautiful flavor, a nice notes, great profile. The Cafe Bustelo, they don't really kind of give you the true percentage of coffee Arabica versus Robusta on theirs. We have Pilon, and the coffee that I grew up on that my grandmother used to make is Cafe Modelo. So the Robusta beans, they have the highest amount of caffeine. And then the way they're roasted to that second cracking at a high temperature, that gives that great woody, robust flavor, and it doesn't take away too much of the caffeine. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, Cuban coffee is so strong. It's like crack, it's like cocaine. And you know, it is a little bit of a joke with us. But you have to remember, when we're drinking Cuban coffee, we're drinking smaller amounts of it. So a shot of espresso is not necessarily stronger than a cup of coffee. It tastes stronger because it's concentrated and powerful, but that full cup of American drip coffee is gonna have about, believe it or not, the same amount of caffeine as that shot of espresso. It just depends how big of a shot of that espresso are you drinking, and how did you brew it, and did you mix it with a little bit of milk? And of course, if you're a true Cuban and you like a café con leche or a cotadito or una colada, you know it's got a lot of sugar in it. And you know what? Sometimes we just have to splurge and enjoy the richness of everything. So that's a little bit about what makes the Cuban coffee beans and the Cuban coffee roast a little different and unique. If you buy the coffee already ground, or you're going to grind it down yourself in your own grinder to get that true Cuban rich flavor and that boldness, you want to set your machine onto a fine grade ground. So coffee that you buy that's already ground, like your Cafe Bustelo, the Pilon, or this one, the Cafe Modelo, it's already ground to that beautiful, silky, fine ground. So when it goes through that pressure, you're getting a beautiful extraction. Espresso was created in Italy. In 1884, one of the first engineers, there was actually 4 engineers and scientists through the years that created espresso, each one perfecting and building upon what the previous engineer slash scientist had already done and created. In 1906, the first espresso machine went to the World Fair, and it was around 1948 that the espresso machines that we know and use today came to be perfected. And that really does go back to those beautiful, aromatic and delicious beans. And we're gonna also dive into how to make a Cuban coffee the right way, or the true way, and the different types of Cuban coffee that if you're in Miami or you're somewhere in South Florida, you'll know exactly what to order when you walk up to that little cafetera window. All right, so let's play around with the different types of Cuban coffee.